this is World War II Passion, and this is my Ju-88 I have promised. It is finally finished. It's taken way too long to build because of, well, issues in life that have basically taken over me for a while. And finally it's finished. So here's the result. First things first, it was a good kit overall, but the engineering wasn't great. And what was really hard was for me to do the masking and painting of the canopies, because the edges of the frames were very hard to see. So as you probably can see on this very front one, for example, see if I can get a little closer. There we go. You can see there. It's transparent, which is good, but as you can see, I had to do a lot of putty jobs, and some of the paint still went off the edges, and I can't seem to find a good way to get that off, but I'm satisfied with it for the time being. But yeah, one of the biggest pluses I had was, but this was easier to paint. This particular canopy piece, the edges were much more well defined, so and it was an easier paint kind I could use to deal with. So that was it. This was a Tamiya spray paint, decanted into a jar and then hand painted. But once I realized I made a few mess ups, I couldn't get it off as easy as I did with a plain old enamel color. So this was easier to deal with, because all I had to do if I messed up was use a toothpick to scratch off any excess paint. And polishing these canopies was necessary to make it crystal clear after a few fingerprints. Boy, did that do it, make a big difference. So here we have the top side with the camouflage effect. First, this would be my first German aircraft, so therefore it's my first aircraft for me personally that actually has a camouflage effect. I know the Royal Air Force does too, but I haven't built a British plane yet. So here's my camouflage effect. You got a dark green and olive drab on top with a yellow hub and black props. You can probably see the radiators too of the engines. And on the bottom we got dark aircraft gray. Some of it had to be hand painted with that same color. Again, using the decanting method, and the bombs are gloss gray. Otherwise, if I kept it as dark aircraft gray, it would just be like, where are they? So I wanted them to stand out, so I painted them gloss gray. And I guess the only features to see are guns on top, and on the bottom in the back here, you can probably see them there, right where the gondola is. Okay, here's a landing gear bay, air brakes in case they wanted to dive on a target, and all the various decals, including this one on each side, telling you how many kills it did. So, as I explained in my previous video, I'm going to be building something new from my closet. And I want to warn you that every aircraft I do is based on an air show. Is based on an aircraft that I've seen at an air show. So I gave you a list of potential aircraft to build that are new, and in one closet ready to be built. The Corsair, Heinkel 18111, Stuka. I have not seen Stuka, but I figure it's a good plane to build. Same with the Heinkel. Let's see what else. The Dauntless, B-17G Flying Fortress and Journey, B-24J Liberator Dragging in his tail, B-29 Super Fortress, and C-47 Skytrain, a Spitfire, P-39 I have not seen myself, but I definitely have heard of it at an air show. And that's all of the immediate new ones I have that I can think of off the top of my head. I probably have said more of them in the previous video, in my update video. If you have any votes or preferences based on what I should do next, let me know in the comments section below. Otherwise, probably by next week, if I don't hear any votes, I'll probably start the F41A Corsair, because it will be a Tamiya kit, and I've never done a Tamiya kit in my life. So this would be kind of an experiment for me. How I like Tamiya kits compared to Revell kits, and this kit in particular, this Ju-88 kit, was an AMT kit, 1x48 scale. The instructions were not clear enough, and it was too vague, too broad in terms of the painting colors. They just give you a lit color and say, this color belongs to this, 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 and this, and on for each color. But as far as like references for the camouflage effect, they weren't helpful in that regard, and nor were they too helpful on what pieces to be built first. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the result of this Ju-88. I'm quite pleased myself. I did a pretty good job of it, I think so. I definitely learned a few new techniques, especially on clear pieces, from my good friend at Rebels I Call 9 and from other YouTube users. So thank you for your tips. And once again, if you have any vote you want to see an aircraft built, whether it's a Japanese down the road, I don't have any Japanese kit yet, but I do have a British kit, and that's the Spitfire. If you want me to continue on the United States Navy with the Corsair or Dauntless, or if you want me to do the Army with the P-51B or P-51C Mustang, whatever you want, I'm open to suggestions. And once again, I'm going to be investing in airbrush soon. I'm definitely willing to take recommendations. I do want dual action airbrush. I'm probably leaning toward gravity fed, but what brand? I'm definitely open to recommendations. Otherwise, this is World War II Passion. I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the Ju-88. And I'll see you next time.